Hi, everybody. Meteorologist David Glenn here in the Storm Track 9 Weather Center. Another Weather Chat live update. We've been keeping you updated for so long this week, and here we are on the eve of this storm moving in. And tomorrow morning will be very windy and rainy here locally as the worst effects of that storm start moving in. So I want to give you a time to ask a few questions, get you caught up what's happening out there. And of course, first of all, we'll invite a few more of our friends to join and hop on board. But again, I can't stress enough, make sure you got any loose items picked up outside. It's going to get a little gusty out there. Next several hours, okay. But I would say during the early pre-dawn hours, just around sunrise, that's when those winds will pick up. And they're going to be changing directions as the day goes on. And we're going to be dealing with the wind for a prolonged period of time. Strongest during the day tomorrow. It'll ease a bit Friday night, Saturday, but still be downright windy and gusty at times on the backside of that system. Now, the heaviest rain will be during the early part of from now through the early part of Friday. So basically the next 12 hours or so, 12 to 15 hours, and then the heavy rain lifts away for a while. We'll still get occasional showers here and there tomorrow night, Saturday, though not as heavy as the next 15 hours will be. All right? But tie up loose ends, tie up the trampolines, bring in the patio furniture, just secure it. Patio umbrellas, roll them down. Outdoor Halloween decorations, bring them in. Be prepared for any potential power outages. Keep your mobile devices fully charged. Should you lose power, you'll have that. Your weather radio, be sure you got fresh batteries in it so that if you lose power, that has a fresh battery supply. So just a couple of things to think about, flashlights, backup power sources, just to understand that this is possible. When we're dealing with a saturated wet ground, and then you add to that strong wind gusts, it can lead to downed trees and power outages. It's hard to say exactly where that's going to happen. But based on some of the wind speeds, it's strong enough. 35 to 45 could easily topple a tree, bring down a limb, and cause that problem. Let me jump over here and allow a few more folks to jump on board, and we'll get started here, all right? Hope you're all doing safe tonight as this first round of rain starts moving in. I'll invite our Storm Track 9 page followers and the News Channel 9 page followers to join in. And we'll talk about where the storm is now, which is a Cat 4 right now. We talked about that last night. And it's going to make that landfall in the next few hours along the northeastern Florida Panhandle. And near Tallahassee, especially, is going to get that northern eye wall from that storm. Very dangerous there. So let me copy this over. We've been talking about this for a week now, this potential tropical system, and here we are. Let's see. Share this to this page. And then we'll share it over to the News Channel 9 page so those folks will get an alert and let them know. And I'll turn this on to answer some of your questions as well. Right, let me get this so I can see your comments. There we go. Who we got here watching tonight? Let's see. David, thanks for watching. Hello, Kathy Chatsworth. Hello, Betsy Walker. Hello, neighbor. Hey, Tabby. Hey, Dana and Eton. Hey, Pam. Thanks for watching. Hey, Jackie, thanks for watching. Hello, Tabby from Lafayette. Sharon from Chattanooga. All right, let's turn this around, and I'll show you the highlights here. And understand that when we're talking about a lot of these wind gusts out here, I think on an average, we're looking at some gusts right in the Chattanooga vicinity. 35 up to 45 is possible. Now, for areas east, you draw a line east of I-75 into the mountains there. There's going to be some peaks there that get over 65. The Smoky Mountains, higher peaks in north, they could get up to around 80 miles an hour. It's very possible. And I think in metro Atlanta, they may get hurricane force gust overnight. That storm is moving at such a fast forward speed that it's going to push a core right around that, what's left of that eye wall, so far inland that it's going to take a while for that little bit to unwind. So it's going to push tropical storm and hurricane force winds way inland. And I think around metro Atlanta, they're going to have hurricane force wind gusts. And I think as it moves and translates north, it's going to be tropical storm wind gusts for us. But it'll be kind of going northeast of us, east and northeast, the core of that heavier wind gusts. But still, I'd be very well aware in Cherokee, Clay County, North Carolina locally, some gusts can reach 50, 60 or higher. Just understand that, and I'll show you that coming up on the future track. So with that in mind, let me show you the highlights here. And so here's what we're looking at through tomorrow. And again, locally, we're looking at this flood watch out till 2 p.m. This is additional rainfall. And I'll show you how much rain's already fallen from, say, like Dalton East. So the final 3-day totals in those areas of the Blue Ridge Mountains may be somewhere in the 5 to 8 inch range. Around the city, we've already gotten over 1/2 inch so far and could pick up another 2.5 to 3 before everything's said and done. More for the Blue Ridge Mountains and east. Gusts will be in the 35, 45 range for a large part of our viewing area, but east and into those mountains, much higher gusts, much higher, okay? I can't emphasize that enough. So here's Helene now. Winds are at 140 miles an hour sustained. And I want to point out the movement is to the northeast pretty rapidly at 24. That's a pretty rapid pace. So right now it's about 65 miles west of Cedar Keys and just south of Tallahassee. Notice right here, this will take us over the next 5 to 6 hours. By 2 a.m., still packing at least Cat 2 strength winds just south of Macon. So it's going to rapidly accelerate farther north. So in 4 hours' time, it could be 100 miles clear inland. So let's move this along the track just a little bit. And you can see right there, around 2 a.m. Eastern, still at hurricane force winds. That's why I think in metro Atlanta, they could have wind gusts that are close to hurricane strength. And then over us, it'll be a rapidly weakening tropical storm, okay? And then down to a tropical depression just after midday, about 2 p.m. Eastern. So it's going to bring these tropical storm force winds, which a lot of those winds will be east of the center. So over in here, east of the center is where these strongest will be. Some of these could still be 60, 70 gusts at times over in here, okay? And I still think in here, 35, 45, there'll be occasional ones that could go as high as 50. So again, those are plenty strong enough to bring down a tree. But really over in here are some heavier winds, and they're going to push this way. So Tri-Cities, Asheville may have stronger gusts than we do because of the way it's moving and arcing back to the north and west. And then once we're past Friday, and then the storm just sort of sits and meanders out here. That's why the winds are going to stick around for a while, and the rain, just on occasions, will stick around through the weekend. So again, high wind warning in effect for southeast Tennessee through tomorrow, through at least tomorrow evening. On average, 20 to 30, but there's going to be gusts at times 65 and higher. And the 65 and higher is going to be out in here, 65, 70, 80, easily through this area. And be aware, out in here, Murphy and Clay County, you're still under that tropical storm warning for the very strong wind gusts. So you can see that tropical storm warning remains in place. Tropical storm wind gusts, and those gusts can be in that range. That's the tropical storm wind force. So I really think over in here, and I'll point this out and circle it, I think really, right in here, okay, that's an area where those stronger gusts could be. And they're going to be coming up like that. Okay? So those stronger gusts can be right in there. So we're going to watch that really carefully when that moves inland. Okay? And then area-wide flood watch out through tomorrow afternoon at least. They may extend that with time. We'll have to just wait and see. All right. Look at the rainfall over the past 36 hours. And you notice something. This rain 36 hours. So in the city, it's been okay, but you draw a line right along I-75 and east. These areas have had rain a lot longer. We talked about this last night. And that's where I'm really concerned, because look at the amounts of rain they've already had. So they've already had upwards of 2, 3, and up to 5. So when you add 3 to 4 additional inches of rain, that means 5 to 10. So this area is going to have rapid flash flooding concerns. Again, it's falling in higher terrain. That means accelerated runoff. And then all the tributaries, the creeks, the rivers that all flow downstream, they're going to be swollen. And so you're going to have further downstream flooding that goes on for days after this. But look up in here where it's already been. I've seen some flooding along the French Broad River in East Tennessee coming out of the mountains because of all the heavy rain they've already had. And it's already swollen, and then you add more rain to it. So I'm very, very concerned. The mountainous areas, the higher terrain, it's going to be, of East Tennessee and Western North Carolina, it's going to be a big, big flooding problem. And locally, again, our ground is not too receptive for rain because it's hardened because of the drought. So a lot of rain in just about 15 hours time frame is going to cause a lot of runoff rather quickly. So now we've got the rain already moving in. Off and on pockets of rain. Notice the flow now coming in from the southeast, pushing in more rain. So again, we've had a cool front. It started to back up, so now all this rain is pushing in. So we're going to get more moderate to, at times, heavy downpours of rain as the night goes on. So we're going to first get all this rain, then the wind gusts will pick up. The windiest period for us will probably be just shortly before sunrise and then into the day Friday. So already in the next few hours, wind's not going to be a problem. But you get towards sunrise, that's when the winds become more of a problem. And then here, of course, we've got Helene drawing closer and closer to the shoreline. In fact, that northern eye wall is drawing close. Let's see. Now, it's still just offshore. Let's zoom in a bit. There's Tallahassee. Tallahassee's going to be right on that western edge of the eye wall. But Perry, Florida, up to Valdosta, they're going to get this eye. Look out. That eye wall is the strongest here on that northern part. And a little dry air kind of encroaching there on the south side. But that's going to be pretty ugly. That's strong. Look at all that lightning within the eye wall. That's a powerful eye wall there. So that's going to be moving north and moving ashore over the next couple of hours. Moving this way. As I've said, it's going to be hauling. That's why we got these rare tropical storm warnings locally, because it's going to push the hurricane and tropical storm force winds so far inland. Now, folks have asked about tornado risk, okay? Through tomorrow morning, this is how it looks. Most of that's going to be east of us because, again, as it moves farther inland, the higher tornado threat is well east of the center. So through tomorrow morning, it increases exponentially the farther east you go. So Jacksonville to Charleston, a higher threat of tornadoes, all the way to Asheville, a quick spin up possible. Where we are, our main concern is still wind and rain. And then tomorrow, that all pivots more to the east. So tomorrow night, again, Asheville, Tri-Cities, and eastward, that's where your higher tornado threat is. So I know that's the question a lot of folks have asked, and I hope that clarifies that. So again, I'll back up one frame here. This is through tonight, through tomorrow morning, tornado outlook, and then tomorrow. Okay, there's where your higher tornado threat is going to be, east of the center. So here's our future track, and this starts us off at midnight. Again, this is a future track that starts us off at midnight. We're going to notice more rain coming in from the southeast off to the northwest. Heavy downpours. This is first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning. Heavy downpours and strong wind gusts. First, they'll be coming in, those winds coming in from the north. Okay? So strong gusty winds, heavy rain to start the day. Now, notice we go to about 11:15. From, say, before sunrise to lunchtime, that's when the heaviest rain and wind gusts will be accompanied together. Once we get past lunchtime, let's get into early afternoon. By early afternoon, the wind has shifted directions. So in the morning, it was coming in from the north. Now it's coming from the southwest. And we get some breaks in the rain. So the heaviest rain will fall that first half of Friday. After lunchtime, not as much rain. It'll still be windy. The wind will be left behind. And then tomorrow evening, we'll have some rain coming back in from the west. So there'll still be some shower. If there's still football games going on tomorrow evening, it may start just breezy and cloudy, but as the game goes on late, some showers returning. That's 11 o'clock Friday evening. Okay? Then we get into Saturday. It's still going to be breezy. Occasionally a few showers, but not all day and nothing like what we'll see Friday. It's going to take a while for that storm just to break down to our north and west. So even by Sunday morning, a few showers. Late Sunday, the rain finally breaks away. Now let's talk about some wind gusts. Let me back this up just a little bit here. So 2 a.m., starting to get a little bit breezier out there, 10 to 15. But from 2 a.m. to about 7 a.m., winds start picking up. Now, this is based on the center being right down here, right there, okay? So we'll have gusts, 35, 40 possible. This is not sustained, just gusts. That's around 8:30. And then even with the wind shift, notice how by the time we get to just for lunchtime, now you got the back edge, the push in coming in from so there'll be a wind shift. And it's still going to be 30, 35, 40. Even during the afternoon. Even though the rain is pushed out, we're still getting some gusts 30 to 40. Now I want to point out again, let me back this up. See where that center is right there? And north, there's going to be some nasty gusts in here. Ignore that for a second. This is picking up a pocket of light winds. I really think in this area, some gusts over 60 to 70, where that northern part of the circulation moves in. So Cherokee Clay, I want you to be aware, okay? These gusts could be 60, 70 as that center right there rolls north. So Cherokee Clay, Union County, Fannin County, higher peaks, they could get those very high-end tropical storm force and possibly hurricane force wind gust, okay? So through the afternoon, still pretty windy. And by evening, we're still in the more manageable 25 to 30. Overnight, still breezy. So again, the winds are going to be left behind. Winds will be blowing even late tomorrow night, early Saturday morning. And on Saturday, still early, occasional strong pockets, and late day Saturday, not quite as bad. So I can't emphasize that enough. The wind is going to stick around for a while. So a longer period with wind, about a 12, 15-hour window of the heavy rain and the wind combined. So by lunchtime, the rain lifts away, but the wind sticks around. It's going to take a while for that storm to gradually, lose its spin. It's like you imagine a figure skater. It's, when a figure skater wants to spin faster, the figure skater will pull their arms in, and they spin faster. That's what the storm's doing right now. Once it gets inland, it's like letting its arms out. It slowly decelerates. But with a storm that strong, it's going to take a while. The wind field expands farther inland, and it takes a while to finally wind on down. And so by that unwinding, it's going to have those wind gusts still rotating through. You're going to be like tomorrow at night trying to sleep going, it's still windy out there. And that's a concern because with a saturated ground, say a tree doesn't fall during that first round of wind. Well, when the wind changes direction with a saturated ground, then it could fall. So it'll be a prolonged period of time where the wind will be an issue through Saturday, then gradually easing as we go through the day Saturday. So I just want you to be aware of that and understand the prolonged nature of the wind, okay? So again, it's a big concern for some power outages, big concern for a tree limb to fall or a tree to fall. Just be sure where you're situated in your house. You're not close to where a tree might could fall. If you're ever worried about that, there's always that one tree in your yard where you're like, I got to worry about that one. We have one of those. And I'm well aware of that. And I'm always thinking about that when we have windy conditions like this, because the winds are going to be coming in first from the north. So it's going to be pushing a tree in one direction. And then as the day goes on, it comes back in from the southwesterly direction, pushing it the other way. And with very saturated ground and loose footing, eventually that could cause some to topple, and that concerns me. So, the EPB crews, we've already had reports that they've got crews on standby ready to go, and those crews work so hard during all this. So have some patience for them, and please remember them. They'll be out in the elements trying to fix the power problems that we do have. So again, I do anticipate some power outages locally here during the day, and so flash flooding issues especially hit hard in those mountainous areas to the east, but especially even here locally. With the rain falling at a very fast clip, the ground not absorbing it well, with some leaves coming down and clogging up storm drains, there's going to be a lot of runoff in a very short period of time. Let me see some of your questions here. I'm going to jump over on this screen. Hello, Darlene. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your kind words. Hey, Pam Irvin. How you doing, good friend? Hello, Teresa Smith. Hello, Patty. Yes, Patty. Yes, please bring in your pets. You probably saw my picture that I posted beforehand with Bo and Grady, our cat and dog. I wanted to have Daisy in the picture, but it's hard to get Bo, Grady, and Daisy all in the picture together. So I'll have a Daisy picture at some point. Let's see. Watching from Athens. Let's see. Had a question. Watching from Athens. Because of the drought, could there be a rock slide or mudslide on Highway 64 in Polk County? I can't predict that, but I know in Polk County that the river road there along the Ocoee 64 is prone to rock slides and mudslides. I can't rule that out, but it's good that you asked that question and to be aware of that. So any of you traveling 64, be aware of that because one, the river is going to be swollen, but also be aware of rock slides that typically happen. That's a good question, though. Let's see. Surely not a whole lot of lightning thunder. There'll be some, but when you're dealing with a super saturated air mass and a tropical one like this, more of those thunderstorms will be farther east of the center. Not going to rule out some, but a lot of it for us is going to be wind and rain. That's a good question. Brenda asks how strong the wind gusts in Murray County. Depends on your elevation. I think you could get wind gusts in Murray County up to 45. I think at the higher terrain of Murray County, some 50, 60, not out of the question, okay? Because you're a little bit farther east, so those gusts could go higher. I think you'll be sustained in that 25 to 35, but I think there's going to be some gusts 45 plus. But even higher, I'm thinking of Fort Mountain. It could be higher, 50, 60. I can't rule that out. Let's see. Let's go to some other questions here. Someone asking about when the strongest winds will begin. Again, I think our strongest winds start around, say, 5, 6 a.m. coming in from the south. Okay? The winds will come in from northerly direction, but it's that push of wind coming in. So after midnight, it'll be a little breezy, but I really think our strongest winds, 5, 6 a.m., and then through the day Friday. But the wind and heavy rain combined will be from, say, 5, 6 a.m. to about lunchtime. And then the heavy rain pulls away, but the wind sticks around, okay? And, of course, things can still change if this speeds up or slows down. This is just based on current patterns. I've tried to stress that so many times. With tropical systems, there's going to be an element of surprise, element of unpredictability. We do the best we can, but that's the way it stands right now. All right, let me turn this around one more time and I'll show you where Helene is now. Make sure it's loaded here. Let me turn this back around. Hello, darkness, my old friend. All right, there we go. There's Helene. So it's right now a Category 4 storm. Sustained winds are at 140. It's a very powerful, especially that northern end of the eye wall, which we showed you on radar. But it's moving northeast at 24. That is a pretty fast clip. And just to give you an idea, so in 4 hours' time, it can move 100 miles. So let's go. So by 1:30 in the morning, it's going to be right there. And by 2 a.m., it can accelerate farther north. So that shows you how fast it's going to move inland. and how far it's going to push those very strong winds inland. Again, I expect Metro Atlanta, especially South Metro Atlanta, to have hurricane force gusts. It could still be at hurricane strength as it passes Atlanta. And then will be at tropical storm strength, a weakening one moving through us. And then by early afternoon tomorrow, already north of I-40 as a weakening tropical depression. And then what it's going to do through the weekend is sit back here and spin. It's going to be called an upper level low. Upper low is a weather person's woe because it just sits there and spins. But notice it rapidly decelerates with wind speed. And again, just to answer your question, again, the higher tornado threat tonight through tomorrow morning is to our south and east. And then tomorrow that shifts to the east. So east of the center is where the higher tornado threat is going to be. All right. All right, my friends, that's the way it stands now. Join me for another update on Fox Chattanooga at 10 o'clock. We'll be live. You can watch also on your mobile device, foxchattanooga.com. News Channel 9 at 11, which again streams on newschannel9.com from 11 to 11:30, 11:35. Yeah, that's your mad. So again, we'll have updates, of course, in the early morning. Bill Race will be here bright and early tomorrow morning, starting at 4:30 on Good Morning Chattanooga. That'll be about the time. It's going to be raining throughout the night, but 4:30 and on, that's when the winds start to pick up. Okay. So you got a little time. If you want to go out in the rain right now, pick up any of those loose items outside and make sure things are secure and bring your pets inside and make sure you keep your family safe. It's a good thing a lot of schools are off tomorrow. So first thing in the morning when it's windy and rainy, nobody's out at the bus stop. We don't need that. But if you have to go into work commuting tomorrow, please be very careful. Give yourself enough time. Okay. If you can work remotely, great. But also be prepared for power outages. I do anticipate that happening. Okay. All right, folks, thanks so much for watching. Stay safe. We'll have more updates coming your way. Join me again at 10 on Fox Chattanooga, 11 on News Channel 9. Stay safe. Thanks for watching.